We have been reporting this hour, the important swing state of North Carolina voted tonight, which ABC has projected will go to Donald Trump. Joe Biden for the presidential nomination just a few minutes ago. For more, I want to bring in North Carolina Secretary of State Elaine Marshall, who's the incumbent for that office. Thank you so much for joining us. We know polls closed in your state just a few minutes ago at 7:30. As the results come in, what are you seeing so far tonight?
Well, we have very thin numbers. We've been following several of the races, but there's just not much data up yet.
And after today's voting, how confident are you in the election security in your state?
I feel very confident. We have an excellent Board of Elections. They have been prepping. I have sat in on some of those sessions. We've had great connections with federal authorities, and we're on our game. So I have confidence.
From the results that we're seeing so far, do you think that tonight could be a test for the general election?
Well, North Carolina is a swing state, so it's always a test of some sort. We have one of the bellwether counties that political writers and students study all the time. So, you know, this is going to be very interesting when the results are finally all in, because North Carolina is engaged in this campaign.
And when you say that the state is engaged, I'm curious just what you're hearing. When you're talking to your neighbors, friends, family, is there a general sentiment that continues to keep coming up?
Yes, people are very interested in the candidates. We have 10 statewide elected officials, and I am one of the few incumbents who is running again. And so there's been a lot of activity over these new people, trying to figure out what their backgrounds are, what their qualifications are for the office. And so it's going to be a very interesting election through the fall, because we're going to be electing a lot of new leaders in this state.
And I am curious on those races more down ballot. Do you see, you're saying a lot of new people. Do you see younger people, perhaps?
Yes, we've got a state auditor who is under 40, I think. I'm not sure her age, but she's younger. We're going to have some other folks probably be successful who are under 50. So, yes, it's good to see a younger group of folks.
Any particular...
We've got some legislators that are coming in under 30. Yes.
Any particular trends that you're noticing with the politics?
Well, I'm hopeful that our politics will remain without toxicity that we've seen at a lot of places, and folks concentrate on the qualifications, the job requirements, and the qualifications that the people bring to it, and the vision that they have to fulfill what they think should be the mission of that office.
Secretaries of State from across the country have sought to sound the alarm over the vulnerability of our election system. Do you share those concerns? And what would you tell voters tonight who may also have fears about the integrity of their election this November?
Well, I've learned from my years of service that there's always a vulnerability. It's not a matter of if and when. You've got to be prepared. Something possibly can happen. But we need to educate voters. That's one of the biggest problems, changing laws that folks don't really know what their voting laws are going to be. So we need to go through a concerted effort. I am doing some outreach to networks that I've developed across the years as a trusted person to provide information. And we need to be doing more of that, have trusted people speaking with trusted people. Our National Secretary of State Association is indeed a trusted partner, and canivote.com. Go there and check out, people can check out the laws of their state and their voting locations.
And anecdotally, I'm just curious what you're hearing. Of course, we're going to be reading the exit polls very clearly down to the fine print tonight. But what are you hearing as far as top issues that are motivating voters this year? Is it abortion, immigration, economy?
Well, it's a little bit of everything, but women in this state are certainly very, very concerned. The legislature has inserted themselves into women's medical decisions, reproductive decisions here in North Carolina, and that is not sitting very well at all. We also have youth that are very interested in climate, and that is a topic of discussion that I sometimes don't hear at a lot of events, but with the youth, I do. They're concerned about their future. Economy, North Carolina is a great economy. We're a great state of opportunity. We're riding a wave of entrepreneurship, and we're on the cutting edge of electronic vehicles and other climate change industries, and we have a new silicone chip plant coming on that's going to help us protect our supply chain here in America. So we're rocking and rolling here in North Carolina on economic development and the industries of the future.
Elaine Marshall, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you very much.